with Tracy in LA. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have...
Evan King.
This is Evan. You probably already know him because I swear he knows everybody. Today at ballet, he was just talking. You're a social butterfly, I think.
Kind of. Thank you.
And I think me and Evan think we know each other from the past. We both used to take Jason Greenwood's Wednesday night advanced ballet class. And I vaguely remember him, but mostly we just connect on Instagram because he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in New York. Mm-hmm. But we've been connecting on Instagram for a while and following each other. And he's been keeping up with the podcast. And so we were talking about it. And we thought it would be great for him to be on it when he's in town, which fortunately you come to town somewhat often.
Yeah, I've been back, I think, 5 times since I moved to New York.
Whoa.
Which was only from last September.
Yeah, that's a lot of times.
Yeah, a lot of times.
You obviously are missing LA a little bit.
Really? Like 100%.
And also, quick side note, the last time, we were supposed to do this the last time you were in town.
Yes.
And it did not work out. My schedule, both of our schedules were crazy. So we were already going back and forth trying to figure out our schedules and when we could do it because he was only in town a short time and I was like house sitting part of the time and couldn't leave the dog for too long and had to kind of figure it out. And then I got super sick, but I thought by the time we were shooting the podcast, the sickness would be gone. But then it wasn't and I lost my voice. And by the day before, I was like, I don't think we can shoot this because I'm still sick. I couldn't talk. And we had already gone back and forth 1,000 times. So it was just kind of a disaster.
Yeah. And then it was not meant to be, honestly,
that time.
At the time. Because my flight also got delayed for 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Japan.
I forgot.
So I was supposed to be here for 12 hours layover. And I have to get my hair cut.
Oh, yeah.
I have to do the podcast. And then ended up, I missed both. Yeah, and I have to get it here literally 2 days ago.
He kept talking about how he had to figure out when to schedule his haircut last time. And so that was part of the scheduling difficulty was he was barely going to be here. He was here for a day or something, but he also had to get a haircut, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, I guess you must really like your haircut person out here. And then when we were scheduling it for this time, he was like, man, my hair is so long. I was like, wait, did you still not get a haircut? Wait, so are you getting one this time?
I got it.
You did?
2 days ago. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not long.
It's
okay,
not long,
I can't tell. I don't know the difference, but it looks great.
Thank you.
But yeah, then he was like, I'm coming back in town again. And it was only about a month later. I barely ever have to cancel a podcast episode. If someone else needs to cancel, fine. But I'm usually pretty good about never having to cancel. And of course, the one time I have to cancel is with a person who doesn't live here and is only here for a day. So I felt so bad. But then he's like, I'm coming back to LA. I'm like, oh, wait, perfect. Wait, I didn't know you came all the time.
Yes. Kind of, yeah.
So,
really miss here.
Yeah. So that worked out great. So we were able to do it today, and our schedules are much more aligned. So apparently this is the divine time to do it. And today we took Johnny, I'm going to see if I say his last name right, Zhong.
Correct.
Okay, Johnny Zhong's class at Westside Ballet. Okay, I've taken his class before. I took it for James Velasco's podcast, and I said his name totally wrong. So if you watch that one, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. And obviously James didn't know either because he didn't tell me. Or he just laughed internally. But nobody knew. I didn't know that I said it wrong. But anyway, Evan has informed me. But we took Johnny's intermediate class today. It's Friday morning, and it was hard. I feel like it's the same as his advanced class. It's very hard.
100%. It is the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you actually took 2 classes today.
I took Charlie's class.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to pronounce his last name
actually
on this part. So. Hodges, maybe.
Hodges?
Yeah.
Okay. We guess we should have figured that out too.
Yeah, we should.
But okay, wait, who would you say is harder, Charlie or Johnny?
It's different kind of hardness, different. It's not on a different level. It's your brain is working differently.
Okay.
In a way, because the method is different.
Okay.
And now I'm in this, teaching dancing world, which is kind of interesting. And Johnny's very, kind of traditional, Russian, a little bit Cicchetti on it. And then for Charlie's class, it's more moving. And how do you find it's more contemporary energy in it. Also, the counts are very interesting to count, right? So I think it's definitely different. how hard it is a very interesting question.
Okay.
I would say like dynamically different.
Totally.
It's like the word.
No, that makes sense. I've never taken Charlie before, but I feel like I've watched his class, like watched the end of it before and thought it looked cool. But yeah, so we took Johnny. I made sure to stand behind someone that was amazing. So I watched her and tried my best. And Johnny's so nice. He's such a nice guy, and I always feel comfortable in his class. But there was one center section that I had about 2% clue what was going on, and I still went out there.
You're brave enough.
But I was like, you know what? I paid for this class, so I am going to go out here and look at the people in front of me and see what I can do. But besides that combination, I feel like I at least could sort of keep up with everything. I was not doing it amazing because I haven't been taking ballet, but I am about to start taking more ballet. But I love ballet, so it was so nice to be back and do that with you and watch you because you're great.
Thank you.
You're such a strong dancer. Like, I love watching you and your
you so
strength
much.
and your turns and everything. So, yeah, it was really fun to take that class today. And I'm excited to get to know about Evan and just to know, like, I've, been following you on Instagram, and I've been kind of keeping up with your journey a little bit because you're in New York now, but I definitely want to hear more about exactly what you're doing, like with the teaching, training, and everything. So right now, what does your dance life look like in New York with everything you're doing?
Okay, let's count from Monday. So I would have a lot of classes in ABT. Currently I'm on the break. We just finished the spring semester and we're going to summer. So we have 3 hours in ABT on Monday. So it would be a ballet class, whether it's like subsidized, like it might be a Cicchetti, it might be a Russian, it might be something else. And then we talk about the pedagogy part.
Okay.
So no matter it's going to be cohort teaching and then we get feedback or we have a lot of readings. It's end of the day is the Master of Arts degree. So we have a lot of readings, a lot of feedbacks. And then we have mandatory classes like jazz pedagogy. So the history of jazz, different kind of way of doing jazz, history literally from like hundreds of years ago in this country specifically to like modern jazz. And we have dance admin. So administrative, like job, like how to do interview, how to do your CV in this professional world, right? And then we have a new class this term, which was research. So it's like you're getting a PhD or like a EDD, which is like an educational doctoral degree, and then you have a lot of research to do. So we have basically a step. Make our first step into how to do the research, how do you get a topic, get people, get peer reviews, right? And then get all of that. So it's more like academia part of it. And then Tuesday, so that was Monday. So it's a lot of
that's just Monday.
That's just Monday. And the past few months, I was actually working with one of my friends' project. It's a choreography project. So we just had a showcase in NYU. So that plus that rehearsal, which is like a crazy schedule on Monday. And then Tuesday is better. ABT 3 hours, so like 2 classes, and then I'll go to either Steps on Broadway, take a class, or taking a class in ballet arts. So ballet arts is the main studio that I'm going right now in New York. It's just the teacher is like amazing and she's kind of onto me. So tracing back to how I feel like I got improved so much from, Westside Ballet. It's like, I don't know, have you ever taken Mark Lopez's class?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of him.
Yeah, it's been a while, and then very positive and like making me in a way of like pushing me.
Okay.
I feel like that is the energy
So even outside of ABT, you're finding these other studios with good teachers that are helping you grow a lot.
Yes, and actually we're doing showcase in the city center 3 times a year.
Okay.
So we're at the second time. I mean the second showcase is gonna be June, and then we did a performance in February.
And this is with
Ballet Arts.
Ballet Arts, okay.
Yeah.
And that's just outside of your official school.
That's outside of the school.
Wow. How are you even fitting all this in?
I know. Sometimes the teacher always Evan, you cannot really, just take it easy. And I feel like it's very normal for me in a way, taking 2 classes or more a day.
Yeah.
Because that's just me for a long time, actually, in LA. And then if I'm not taking 2 classes, I feel like something is missing,
Okay.
So that is Tuesday.
That's Tuesday.
Wednesday, we have a class called Kaleidoscope. So, Kaleidoscope dancers. So basically, it's like a workshop to teach the students in New York public school. So charter school or public school.
Okay.
They came to take a class with us. So we have all the cohorts across the dance educational program in NYU, which is NYU Standard. It's a long, official name of it, but we just call it dance education. So we have, currently we have 8 people in ABT track, so ABT Pedagogy. And then we have groups, and then we will teach a class, like a group teaching. And then we taught non-ballet class. So it's something that I'm really,
Do you pick another style, or what do you do?
We have to adapt to what the students kind of need instead of I want to teach a ballet class, because also culturally some of them they love to dance, but they've never danced ballet, and then also historical content of it. It's like, oh, are you really enforcing a high school student to do ballet, if they're never done it, right? So we wanted to make it more inclusive and then also more welcoming, so people don't feel like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, we wanted to, leave that energy somewhere else. We're gonna be fun, we're gonna be having fun.
That's cool. So are you practicing, are you actually teaching students, or in the class are you just practicing? Are you picking another style and you're practicing teaching that to your fellow students?
I would say something in the middle. That's a very weird answer, but I feel like that's sometimes how we go.
Are there kids that you're actually teaching?
There are kids. We're actually teaching. However, we're also teaching each other.
Oh, okay.
Cohort teaching. For example, we just had our final, and I taught a little. Have you ever heard Rubies?
No.
It's jewels from
rubies.
rubies.
Yeah.
From Jewels.
Yeah.
This ballet that Balanchine created.
Oh.
Right. So there are 3 parts: emeralds, rubies, and diamonds. And then the rubies is very jazzy style. And then actually one of our teacher in Westside, Patricia Neary, she was the original Ruby tall girl.
Oh.
Many decades ago, and then her image just showed up on our PDF or in the jazz continuum class. I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, let me pay some respect and tribute to my teacher. And then that's what I was doing
that's cool,
for the jazz presentation. So we did cohort teaching. Counts are very interesting in the jazzy, Stravinsky music. So, it's a lot beyond just ballet. That's what I found in this program. And then
why do you say what? Can you explain what's different about the counts?
The counts.
Yeah, when you say the counts are interesting for that.
Oh, Stravinsky, for example, there's a quarter ballet part that I taught the student to do, which is 1-6, 2-8. 5 6s.
Oh.
Something like that. So it's piqué and chassé and entrelacé and step. So this is a 6 count. And then the 8 count is 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, 5 and the 6 and the 7 and the 8. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, 5 and the 6 and the 7 and 8. Or you don't count and. Actually, you just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
And then you do like a jazzy style, like you move your body. That is like 6. So the beat is on 1 and on 5. So you go 1 with your arm and your leg on 1, and then 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5 you brush out. 6 and the 1 and the 2. Yeah, so it's a very uneven count for most of the Stravinsky, like Balanchine's ballet.
Wow.
Not really Balanchine, but like Stravinsky's ballet, definitely. Not even.
It sounds like teachers are very needed for that because you would need to be able to explain it really well.
Yes, definitely. That's why I think music, the part of the music really takes me to dance because I started ballet very late.
Wait,
Yes.
how late did you start it?
Officially 22, unofficially like 21.
Oh, I
Almost
didn't know that.
21,
Wow, that's
yeah.
cool. Okay, we'll get back into that later. But we're still on, what, Wednesday or?
Yes, that's Wednesday. And Wednesday afternoon, oh my God. Yes, so Wednesday afternoon is a dance admin class, the actual dance admin class. And before that was like a history class or something. I forgot that was in the fall semester.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's move to Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday, 3 hours ballet again in ABT. So we're actually in ABT studio
Okay.
with the cohort. We have lovely musician, definitely. And then sometimes we have, I actually finished my ABT certificate level 4 and 5 a month ago. And then that's it for the week.
Wait,
in
what
the
does it mean
school
that you
part.
finished that certificate, that you got that?
So that is a teaching certificate. It's officially called American Ballet Theater National Training Curriculum. It's a teaching certificate.
So can you teach now with
Yes.
that, and say that
It's a
that's your
ABT
training?
certified
Okay.
teacher.
Okay, but then you're still going to school though.
I'm still going to school because I still have 6, 7, and pas de deux to do.
Oh, okay. So you're certified for certain
levels.
Levels. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and then that's it for the whole school part. Then I'll be going back to ballet arts on Thursday
Okay.
afternoon. Sometimes evening we have rehearsals, and then Friday just like homework, and then going to ballet arts again, or steps. And then currently I have rehearsal for Dunkyu on Friday evening, and then Saturday, Sunday ballet class.
Wow.
Instead of taking 2 or 3 here in Westside, I think I'm only taking 1, maximum 2 right now a day.
Well, you have so much other stuff to do, like
Yes.
actual homework and everything else you're studying. And then, so how many days of the week are you actually in ABT studio?
3.
3. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Sometimes more, actually. Yes, we have another part of this assignment homework. It's called observation. So we are required to watch ABT JKO school students and then write report on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what do you like about the style, or teachers, the cues, how do they teach, the rationale behind it, 3 points. And then you use the ABT curriculum to analyze a combination and talk about what the fault student made. Like, for example, how do you lift your leg so high so your pelvis is not even, something like that.
Okay.
Then you give a plan B of this whole exercise. How do you make the students do better?
Okay.
And then you have to create a whole plan B. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. How does it differ from what your life looked like when you were in LA taking class? Were you doing other things in LA when you were here before New York? Or were you mostly taking classes every day too and doing rehearsals and things?
I never really had performance opportunities here.
Okay.
I did one showcase with Westside Ballet. It's a
Okay.
summer thing.
Yeah.
That was after my summer school. So I feel like my life really restarted again in LA after I moved from Asia. That was end of 2017. So my college started in 2018 spring semester. So I moved to Pasadena.
Oh, okay.
I went to Art Center College of Design.
Oh, okay.
And I majored in fine art. So it was a long story, but then how did I get to ballet? I always wanted to, oh my God, I cannot really say this part, but I will say it. You don't have to cut it. I wanted to be more active. I wanted to look better.
Okay.
I want to be healthier because I've been kind of having anxiety on like overeating issue. If I'm very like I have a lot of anxiety, I would eat more.
Okay. A lot of people can relate to that, including myself.
Yes. And then I have some friends, if they have nothing to do, they don't eat at all.
Okay.
Right? Just if you need official, like professional advice, please find a nutritionist. Please find someone to give you a suggestion. That's very important. Your health is definitely number one. So I wanted to do some exercise.
Because wait, before that, you were an artist.
Yes.
And mostly working with your hands.
Right.
Kind of sculpting or
Sculptures,
that type of thing.
Yeah,
because I've seen it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
So you weren't, just to like clarify where you came from, you weren't doing any sort of like active art at
correct.
this point. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go back to what you were saying. All right.
Yes. That's why I feel like, one thing, I started play violin when I was very little, like 6 years old.
Oh,
7.
okay.
Yeah, something like that. And then, the music is there. But then I've never really used it besides, taking a class or whatever. I always loved to listen like classical music. And then I feel like, okay, let me just be active. Instead of going to the gym, I found that there's a ballet thing.
What drew you to ballet? And had you been going to the gym, but you weren't liking it that much?
I went to gym for like 3 days. Yeah, literally 3 days.
Literally only 3 days.
I was like, this is not what I really like to do.
That's how I feel at the gym too. I'm like, this is not for me.
But then sometimes, I feel like I have to force myself to go to the gym sometimes. Just because, like, you don't really work on your upper body in ballet.
Yeah.
Well, you work on it.
You do your arms, but...
You do your arms, but not...
Not to the extent you would at the gym with lifting and things like that.
I think that is very important too. So,
But what drew you to... Why did ballet come to mind when you were thinking about trying to get more active?
I watched the ballet. I'm thinking like when I was in China or somewhere...
Okay.
And I just watched some ballet videos. I was like, wow, those steps.
Yeah.
Like, I would never picture myself doing all of those. But then why not try it?
Yeah.
And then I just started.
So it just kind of came back to mind, like what you had seen when you were younger.
Right.
And you're like, I kind of want to look into that.
Yeah. And also, like, Tchaikovsky's music is always, like, top of my mind. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, make that connection artistically, but also in a way of like, how do I embody that kind of feeling? And then I saw this quote from George Balanchine: to see the music, hear the dance. How poetic, how beautiful, how interesting, how normal to be like.
I'm trying to see the music, hear the dance. That's so like, I'm trying to grasp that.
Yeah, like it would make much sense if you're watching a Balanchine's choreography. They're on the beat. It's always like, Balanchine loves to start on and or one, like a lot of that.
Like he really brings the music to life.
Yes.
It's like he sees the music because like he sees a vision with the music.
Yeah.
And he really puts it together well.
Yeah. And then the mentors that I've gotten here. Yeah. So one time that one of my friends before, like a while ago, took me to actually Johnny Zhong. I saw some video of like people doing plie or tendu, dégagé, passé or whatever at the time, and then went to the class. I was like, okay, plie, let me do the plie. I went to Johnny's class. That was
your first class?
That was first class, like 2018 summer.
But he doesn't do, did he have a beginner class?
It's called beginner to intermediate. Okay.
And you thought that would be great for your first ballet class ever in your life?
I would I would think that it's because I feel like I know, like I've watched videos.
watched a lot
I know
of videos.
what, like I was like, it's not too bad.
Like you practice on your own a little?
Yes.
Okay.
You know. And then I went to the class and I got so embarrassed myself.
Oh no.
I was like, oh my God, what should I wear? The tights? Oh my God, this is what's going on with my arm? I don't know. I've left in the middle of the third combination.
You just
which
left?
which is another tendu because the third tendu was super fast.
Yeah.
I just left. I walked out.
His bar combinations are hard. I've been taking ballet for a bit of time, and I am like struggling to keep up with his bar combinations. So you coming in for your first ballet class ever, I can't imagine.
Yes. I think also my friend recommended his class
Okay.
at the time. Like we walked up to the stairs and then I just watched the whole class.
Okay.
Like at the end, I'm like, okay, I don't think this is in any shape or form beginner class. Kind of got traumatized by it a little bit in a good way. Like, wow. I think I left and then I didn't come back till like October or November of 2018.
So it had been almost a year later or something?
A few months later.
Oh, it was just a few months
Because it's from
later.
summer to...
Oh, okay. But you didn't think about checking out a different class? You still wanted to come back to his class?
I think also I just first came to America and also being with the school stuff. That's why I was like, wait a second, let me just, let me deal with my school first.
Yeah.
A lot of and also at the time, before that, before the first summer, I didn't have a car and I lived in Pasadena. And I know how to take a train here, from Pasadena.
Nice.
It's crazy from Gold Line to transfer to Purple or Red in Union Station and then transfer to the Blue Expo line to here. And it's going to take you 1 hour, 47 minutes.
I'm so impressed just listening to you because I think me and most people would not know how to do that because hardly anyone doesn't have a car here. It's hard to get around. I don't think our system is amazing. So you would take it. It would take it in the hour and 47 minutes to come
to
here.
take a class.
Was it like so did you start coming back when you were still in school?
Yes.
Okay.
More and more end of 2018. So whose class I've taken? Mainly Mark Lopez.
Okay.
He's not teaching here anymore. Rebecca's class in the morning sometimes. And then I think I intensively taking classes are mostly Mark Lopez class, end of 2018 to 2019. And then right before COVID, I started to take Notterham's class. Notterham. Yeah, and Nodder
Was that at Westside too?
Yes.
Okay.
And Nodder is an amazing teacher. I've learned so much from him. And also from Mark, because Mark is officially my first teacher.
Okay.
Johnny's class is always physically demanding. I feel like sometimes I just want to take a break. I just go to Mark's class. And then I think it's lovely to say that, Westside gives me so much opportunities on pas de deux class. Sometimes I'm taking with the kids, the academy students.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was taught by Miss Martin and Sven. And then before, when I started it, it was with Nader.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there are a lot of good memories, and the other day Pat Neary still mentioned about him. It's I was almost crying in the class because how nice and how real he is. I remember one time he just Evan, you should go to the beginners class because I know how I couldn't keep it up, But then later, I think it was almost in the beginning of 2020, I had this huge leap, I think, with my ballet thing, right? And then he saw me, he was like, wow, Evan, you got this.
Cool.
Right? And then he invited more and more to his class. It's not just it's a very interesting culture in ballet. It's like I always wanted to ask before, like, if I should take this class. And teachers always like nice, like, oh, you can take it. Yeah, you can modify as much as you want, right? And then COVID happened.
But wait, before that, so when you started taking all these classes, just right away were you like, oh, I love this. I really want to get more into this. Was it still more about getting physically in shape, or did you start to be like, maybe I want to do something with this?
Physically in shape, sure. And then sometimes you get so inspired by all those amazing dancers coming to class. And I feel like I want to be like that as much as possible, right? And then I love music so much. You know, we got so many good musicians here. Not a ranking, but I'm just going to name people, right? Leon is fabulous. Ina, EJ is fabulous. You know, like so many people have been playing like here, like just
Playing the piano.
Yeah, piano. Yeah. We call them pianist or accompanist or maestro, whatever you call, right? They're all, or just their name. They're just lifting the whole spirit up.
Yeah.
Like the energy. I always feel I can forget everything that is happening in the world, how crazy it is, or my things. Like, you know, anything negative would immediately transfer that kind of energy when I step into a ballet class, put my hand on the bar.
Yeah.
That.
Hi, everyone. Tracy in LA here. I just want to take a moment to talk to you guys about donations. If you've been liking either of my podcasts, Tracy in LA, the podcast that's about my personal life, or Dance Journey podcast, where I interview dancers and try to help dancers connect more with each other by sharing their stories and being authentic and encouraging and inspiring each other. If you're liking either of these podcasts, please consider donating. You can Venmo me at Tracy in LA, TracyInLA, just like my Instagram. I've been doing these podcasts I've been doing Dance Journey for a couple years now. I started the personal one a few months ago, and I love doing them. I feel called to do both of them for different reasons, but it does take a lot of time, the editing, the planning, the preparing, the shooting of them. And I have gone through all of my savings since I quit my corporate job a couple years ago, and I've just been relying on odd jobs here and there, people letting me live with them in exchange for taking care of their pets and organizing their house and things like that. And it's been amazing. God's been providing for me, but a lot of it is from people giving. So I just want to be a little more direct and open to telling you guys that I would love, if you are listening to these and enjoying them, if you could give financially. That would be so helpful for me to keep going. Please Venmo Tracy in LA, or if there's another way you want to give, please reach out and I can give you any details you need for any way that is your preference for giving. And literally any amount helps, whatever makes sense for you in your current financial situation. I would just love it. I don't have commercials on here, and I don't make money from any of this, and it's a lot of work, and it is a labor of love. It's something that I love to do, but it is a lot. And if you're part of the community of listening to these podcasts, it would be so cool if you could also be part of my financial support. If you want to know more details about the money that I currently have and what I need, I talk about that pretty openly on my personal podcast. So if you want to hear those details, you can start listening to those. Or my email newsletter. You could sign up for my email newsletter. There's a link to that in my Instagram bio, and I send those out usually once a month, and I give more details about my money as well, and just tell fun stories and things God is doing. So yeah, thanks for listening to this. Thanks for considering donating, and back to the podcast. And in the midst of, you know, getting better at ballet and getting more inspired, were you also just did you always love to meet tons of people, or did you start out shyer but then started meeting people? How did that happen? Because I know you would just have so many friends here and everything.
Yeah, I actually don't mind to say this. I think one of the things was definitely childhood trauma in a bit. I feel like I was always the outcast in a way.
Okay.
I don't know. It was because of, you know, anything. I didn't really have any friends when I grew up.
Oh, okay.
And I always reflect myself why, people are saying like maybe, it's a personality or because of your family, because having issues of communicating. But I feel like I don't really have any of those why, but then sometimes it's not even your issue at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's still, I reflect a lot on myself, changing environment in different places when I was little, kind of different culture, right? And then I think that gives me makes me want to have a place to belong in a way. That's why I said why.
Yeah.
I feel like LA is home always.
So you kind of intentionally tried to meet people more when you were here and kind of make it more your home. I mean, because literally, I've been coming here for a while too, and I am a generally friendly person, but Evan knows everybody, every single person he's having personal discussions with, people saying hi to him. I mean, he is back from out of town, so I'm sure people are excited to see you, but I can tell that you just have worked at building so many relationships here, and I can tell it seems like it's your home. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then I think people ask me also about the difference between New York and LA. I feel like, because, we're all in our own car and not so much of a community, I would say. People are far away from each other. And New York is everything is so close.
Right, that's true.
Right. But then in LA, I feel like, we're always far away from each other, but then actually you can disagree with me here that, not you, all of you guys who are listening or watching, that I feel warmth in a way in LA than in New York, because people are more close to each other physically, but not really mentally in a way.
There's in New York, you mean?
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah.
Definitely a space, or, people don't give an F or something, of that energy.
There's a lot of hustling there. I remember when I visited there, it was just you're all walking and you're so close because everybody's walking and there's so many people, but it felt very everyone's on their own mission. So you're just, no one's really, not that I wouldn't say there's tons of acknowledgement in LA either, but especially in New York, I felt that of just there's not a lot of time for acknowledging people. It's just you're on your path kind of.
And and we always say we are all living in our bubble, and I feel like I'm in Westside's bubble in a way.
Yeah.
And for some reason, just connect with people a lot, and then their bubbles are very cute, very nice. We're just just so many positive things happen, and I'm just so blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You just jumped into everybody's bubble, and then it just became a big bubble.
Yeah.
No, I think that's true. I think I think LA can be hard to meet people as well, but I think there's pockets of communities you can find. I think you do sometimes have to be a little bit intentional, but this is obviously something you wanted for your life since you felt like you didn't really get that when you were younger. And I think it's so cool. It seems like it's fun to see someone's life when something extreme, it's you went to the total opposite of the spectrum of now you have so many friends and it seems like sincere relationships, and to go from, that being sort of a traumatizing thing when you were young to it seems very redeemed now. You have this whole community now, which is so cool.
Yeah. I think it's more reflecting on yourself, and the culture there is always you have to ask yourself, what did you do wrong? And then most of, sometimes or most of the time it's not really you. So don't put that pressure on yourself, because, now I'm who I am. I just feel it's not really just abandon whatever that I've had or I've experienced, or, even, bullying or whatever. But it's a good reflection. It's a good way to look back and being positive for your future, and you always want to find that for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said about not over analyzing what did I do wrong, and just realizing people are people, and you're you're living your life, and it's really cool that a door was opened here for you to find community. But then so you kept going with ballet here, and then what what even happened that led you to go to New York? Maybe I'm skipping things. I'm not sure, but I'm curious, like, what happened that made you be like, and also, were you still able to keep up with everything at your art school? Like, was it hard to juggle all of that?
Yeah, so that was earlier, right? Like a few years ago. I graduated from Art Center like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Now, so actually the whole journey was in the middle of it. I kind of fell in love with ballet around like before COVID, I would say.
And were you already done with school? Or
No,
you were
not
not done
yet.
with school yet? Okay.
Right, not yet. So I've been taking a lot of classes, and then, like everything just shut down because of COVID. I think I stopped for a few months, and then, and I realized again how important this community is for me. How much I really like it. Like sometimes I just feel like I need it back. I need that, energy or whatever that is lifting my spirit, the music, the community up. And maybe as you mentioned earlier, that what you want to do next in a way, that I feel like at that moment I wanted to be as professional as I could. So I started to do some research on summer schools. So summer school is a semi-professional, or I should say like pre-professional experience.
Summer school with ballet.
Summer school with ballet.
Yeah, a lot of different places do a summer intensive or summer training. Yeah.
So I looked it up and then I applied. So summer school 2022 was my first experience. It was in Danish Ballet. And because we canceled the 2020 and also 2021, so that was my first official exposure to pre-professional. And then I feel like I learned one thing. It was attitude. I was like, oh, wait, attitude could be like a negative word or it could be, a neutral. It is a neutral word. Not the attitude in ballet.
Yeah, I know, I had to be like, wait, an attitude or your attitude?
The attitude.
Like your attitude, like the way that you're presenting yourself?
Yourself.
Okay.
I just feel like, in this professional world or pre-professional world, how naturally people just present themselves. And I kind of learned that. So I'd be more comfortable about myself dancing in the mirror. And one thing very interesting, be comfortable about yourself. I think some of the dancers are naturally like, they just look at the video all the time of them dancing. Me is completely different. I don't look at even like maybe it's the confidence over there or something. I just have a hard time of looking at myself dancing.
I think a lot of people do though, yeah.
Right. Or you would be like totally opposite. You'd be like obsessed with it, which is great. Like good for you. That's actually very good for, self-correction, whatever. So 2023, I went back to Danish, and we had a lovely performance in the theater, in the Playhouse.
Now, really fast, did you have to audition? You had auditioned to get into
We
these,
have
right?
to send videotape.
Okay.
And then I got in.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's not really a hard, I think, compared with a lot of places
Some
in
other
America.
ones. Okay.
Yeah. And then 2023, I did also go to like a little summer program in San Diego.
Okay.
San Diego. It's called City Ballet of San Diego. I think I got in by sending a video, but then because it's overlapped with Danish, so I just went for 1 week. However, I had a knee injury. I fell from a scooter.
Oh, gosh.
And that was not my first injury, and it still bothered me to now. But then my first ever injury was even crazier. James 80's class.
James,
Yes.
he also teaches at Westside Ballet, and I used to take his class too.
I love James. Actually, go back. Sorry, it's so much
It's
here
okay.
and there. It's because
It doesn't have to be in
it's
order.
lovely.
I'm also curious, what you did during COVID, because you didn't really talk about that. Did Westside? I knew they had some outdoor classes. Were you able to keep training or did you have to take a break for a while? Hello, everyone. I wanted to remind you quickly that if you haven't bought my book, The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010, please get it. It's on Amazon. You can get the paperback version or you can get the Kindle version. It is a compilation of a bunch of actual letters I wrote and sent in the actual mail back in 2010 when I was first living in LA pursuing acting. A bunch of my friends who didn't live in LA thought it was so interesting that I was pursuing acting and wanted to hear more about it. So I basically just am super vulnerable. I talk about all the things I was going through, the doubts I was having, the struggles I was having, finding agents, getting auditions, making friends, visiting different churches, like totally just pour myself out in these letters. And I didn't really necessarily think I would ever publish them, but I went back all these years later and decided to edit them, change some names, and make it in a way where I could actually publish it and release it to the public. So that's what this is. I'm working on the 2011 letters right now. I have quite a few years that I did this, and people really liked it when I did it initially. And now I've gotten some good feedback on the book as well, even from people that like never read it initially or didn't know me back then. It sort of feels like a period piece now because it's like from 2010. So some of the language I use is just different. And, you know, I talk about burned CDs and things like that. So anyway, I think it's kind of fun and hopefully you could relate because most of you probably are in LA doing similar things. So I hope you can get it and enjoy it. And if you like it, please leave a review on Amazon and yeah, let me know what you think, and thank you for your support.
We took a break for, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody who is listening or watching, it was 3 months, right?
Okay.
I think we stopped for 3 months, a little less than 3 months probably. And then we are lucky that the largest studio, Studio 6, has this giant gate, right?
Yeah,
You
it's like
can
a
pull it
big
up.
garage door type
It
thing.
was a garage or something. So we were able to have this place for us to dance. And we have to wear masks for a while, half year, or a little less than a half year. Yeah. But that was amazing to have. Very blessed, you know. Momentum was not gone, but then some teachers left during that period of time. You know, and then I got my, the third, I would say, most important ballet teacher, Niels Martins, also my mentor here. And then I've taken so many private classes with him. He used to dance in New York City Ballet for 25 years. And all those musicality, attack, the way of dancing, I feel like I've learned a lot from him, and as well as Patricia Neri, who I always adore. She is so amazing. She's just one of a kind. Like, I would say she was the first generation of American ballerina in New York City Ballet, and she's still, you know, I still take her class. Just inspired by all of those people.
And when you were taking all these summer trainings in different places, I mean, at this point, had you felt like I'm going away from the other kind of art I was doing and now I'm just pursuing dance? Or like, did you know exactly what you want to do with ballet? Or were you just continuing to be like, I just want to keep getting as professional as I can get, and these are the opportunities that are open to me? Like, what was your vision at that point?
And also, like, kind of in between, which is very interesting. I always say that because I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know which route that I'm going to. Something led to this point that I'm, a dance education person right now, student or cohort, or, you know, the future dance teacher, educator, no matter how you call it, that I started from the 2025 summer intensive. So ABT has this Collegiate program for summer, and I went last year, which was 2025, and then they talk about this program, dance education, with NYU as a master degree. So, and I feel like, okay, maybe I should move on from doing something that, yes, I'm doing something that I love, but then sometimes I just feel like, you know, when you start a ballet when you're 20 something, and then feel like you've never been active and you've never known why there's a plie is this way, why the retrait is this, why there's a passe, why
Okay.
you have to turn out your muscle. Like, there are lots of whys that maybe even the teachers who were an absolutely amazing performer, prima ballerina, or principal dancers didn't know.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't-
they've on stage,
Yeah.
there's not, it's always like different. And I just feel like instead of learning outside in, should I be also known why I'm doing this inside out?
Yeah.
Another way of learning ballet. So I started this, I heard them talking about this program, and I was like, okay, New York is interesting. I always loved to travel there, but I didn't. Like, right now, I just don't know why, like, I picked there, because the living experience is very different than just traveling there. I don't know, like, like, you would just walking on the Broadway or like wherever, you just feel like, oh, it's amazing. But then actually, if you live like in the city, that is very different
Okay.
experience.
Are you like ready to? I'm sure it sounds like you're enjoying what you're learning and all of the dance. But once
Definitely.
you finish it, or how long will it take you? When will you finish your full like degree?
So I'm going back next week for the commencement and also the graduation ceremony. So
Okay.
we're doing the whole school. So it's only 1 year, 3 semester, and we have a summer. So I will officially finish in August.
Oh, so the whole thing is only a year.
It's only a year.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
It's a Master of Arts.
And then are you like, and then I'm coming back to LA?
I would love to, but I would first trying to get jobs in
Okay.
New York, because the dance education, I think, is a thing in New
Okay,
York.
so it'd
right?
be easier. You have more opportunities there.
More opportunities there, yeah. And I wouldn't mind to like travel back and like give a class.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've never really had a lot of experience in teaching ballet until that I really taught a class in ABT with cohorts. I was like, wow, I love this
Did you love
feeling.
it? Oh, cool.
I love how you pass on this kind of knowledge, right? Like Pat Neary always say, I'm not creating this step. Like Mr. B, Balanchine, has already created this, and I'm just passing this knowledge. And I feel like, how do you pass it is very important. With passion, with care, with love. And then you wanted to give the best to the next, no matter next generation, or to people that always enjoys ballet as well as you do. I think that really gives you like a full circle on why you do things.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so cool how you didn't know at first that that's what you kind of wanted to do, but your brain was already thinking like that because you're already like, wait, I want to know why this happens. How, like, where did this come from? But your brain was already like so interested, and then it just led you to, wait, I want to learn this. Oh, wait, I love teaching it. It's just cool to see how that progression happened.
Yeah, and like getting inspiration from all those master classes, the master teachers, and there are a lot of nuance to it, right? And then there are a lot of ways to teach one single combination. And I think that is how it actually very fun to me to do that. Yeah, I think there are a lot of possibility for me to go forward, no matter just as an educator or as performer, as an artist.
Also, when you were out here, you're going to art school, taking all these classes, and then you're traveling to all these programs. Have you been working any other types of jobs during all this, or have you not had to do that?
So I invested tons of my scholarship at the end of the college period.
Okay.
Which I'm so glad that I did. And then I didn't really technically have to work a lot.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, and then, like, okay, yeah, my parents are lovely. They paid my school at the time. And then I'm glad that I got the scholarship, right? And then, yeah, it's the timing, I think. and I really wanted to do something for myself.
So you really wanted to then challenge yourself with something that you were very interested in and kind of take this different direction. But now it sounds like you're very excited to try to get dance teaching jobs.
Yeah, this is funny. Also, like, I feel like it's interesting that you asked that question. I feel like I'm just gonna, like, go more on what it is right now.
Yeah.
Going back to go to New York, going back to school, I feel like actually financially it's a challenging part. I didn't have to, this is very interesting, funny but not really funny, that going back to school really is something financially challenging. And right now I have to think a lot on the financial part.
Okay.
Like I think I probably would. I am not too sure, but I might be the only one or two taking student loan from the government right now.
Oh.
So right now, my financial situation is not the same as who I was 1 or 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's like I take a flight here. I think sometimes you have to play smart. I'm taking Delta, and then sometimes people are like, oh wow, Delta is expensive, right? Right before, but not now. Like JetBlue is like it's expensive too.
Okay.
Right? And then I'm glad I saved a lot of miles. I only paid $11.20.
Nice. That's awesome.
Round trip, and then I get upgraded all the time. And people are like, that's like thousands of dollars. I was like, yes, I know. And gladly I invested before, like something like points, So yeah, and then I didn't have to work for a few years. I feel like, okay, the time, yeah, for sure. I was from a very totally different mindset of I do have to continue, my job experience, this and that. Like I actually I was trying to help a brand to sell some ballet shoes.
Oh, okay.
You've ever heard of it? It's not sponsored, just FYI. Yeah, with the dancer. His name is Orza.
Okay.
Seth Orza.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a padded shoe. I was trying to do something, like just for experience, and...
When were you doing that?
That was like a year ago.
Okay.
2025.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I would just take all the shoes fitting for people, like really working actually. I think that's a fun experience because it's all also like helping people.
Yeah.
And the benefit of the shoes, how different they are. I would say it's a very humbled experience of like going back to school again with a little bit of financial difficulty.
Yeah.
A little bit, definitely, because I just realized how much the student loan is. Which, really freaked me out, honestly.
Most of us have had that moment with student loans, for sure.
I thought it was 90 something. It was 127.
Oh, dang. You're like, get me that good teaching job.
Yeah, so teaching. Yeah, I think it's a very, I want to be a good teacher. I've never thought if I would become a dance educator before last summer.
Wow, yeah.
Right? And then I feel like, yes, it is very important. There always debate of like, if you're not dancing in ballet company for X amount of time, how you're teaching. And actually teaching is very different than just dancing. And sharing the knowledge. And sometimes, some performer, they don't like to talk.
Yeah.
And I know that I like to talk, right? So I get that part already. I love to share, and I can see mistakes, especially, the steps technically. And I was like, oh, yeah, it does make sense at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And having this ABT curriculum, not only just for me dancing, it's a very interesting moment for me to be like, Evan, you didn't have that solid foundation from a baby. You're doing this sometimes, yes, beautifully, sometimes very strong, or sometimes, you can do a lot of things. But then, have you ever thought of why you're doing this? How you can make yourself better by knowing why. And I think going to this program to be learning from pre-primary how all those teachers getting all the scientific and also historical methods, which we mainly use Cecchetti and then Russia, to apply to my dancing, and also why we're doing all of those from beginning. Why you're doing a plie, right? Why you're doing a tendu, why you're doing a dégagé, and so on. To be able to know why from the beginning, it will carry on the whole knowledge up, and then giving myself this confidency in like doing things level by level, why we're doing that and what is the connection. So when I'm doing a ballet, when I'm doing a step right now, I will always go back to what I was learning in ABT. Oh yes, this makes sense. And then this is also interesting to trace back on what you said, how hard today's class was, right? How hard the little jump is. Actually, there's reason behind it. That's why.
Yeah, I was saying that the center section with all the little jumps, I was like struggling with, and he was like, actually, that is one of the hardest things.
One of the hardest things, because, like, for example, we're saying dimension, dynamic, like dynamic could be musical. Dimension is how small to how big of dancer's body is. In that musical tempo, which is very fast, with the petite allegro, when you're doing that large dimension, it's very challenging for your body. Yes. Some people, today I was trying to, this is a little problematic. Don't try to correct people without permission or anything. But then I was like, would you mind that I share a correction with you? She is so happy. I'm so glad.
I'm
right?
sure, yeah. So many people would love that.
Right. And then some people will be like, oh my God, like, don't talk to me. Who are you?
But you're like getting all this dance education, so your mind is like, ooh, I want to help people.
And I was like, you literally almost gonna do it, which is like an on to down pirouette. And then she moved her arm so big when she initiate the turn, which you will never really get it unless you are, Nureyev or like somebody who is like crazily. But then the thing is, you have to know how to do it, then do it. But then if you are making it a big arm when you are turning, it's just wrong. It doesn't look correct, right? And then you think of getting your arm with your back, the whole side of your body have to come in. That's how you can do successfully a pirouette. Yeah. Instead of leave your arm, half of your body. Yeah. Right. And then she got it. She was like, oh, wow. I said, yeah, so that's dimension.
Yeah, it makes sense that my question of which class do you think is harder, because you're training in all of this right now, you're like, harder is too basic of a word. Like, there's so many different aspects to think about. Yeah, yes. For sure.
I love like Pat Neary's class. Would I say it's hard? It's not that hard. However, she is, the Pat Neary that's already like, I don't want it to make any mistake. Like, if I make a mistake in Johnny's class, I don't want to make a mistake in Pat's class.
Right? You're harder on yourself in that class.
Right. And then her combinations are, she always liked to say, like, I stole this combination from Nader, or somebody else. I was like, yeah, that's how ballet continues. Right? Yeah. The continuum of all this knowledge passing. And I think the other way of saying why I love or wanted to teach is that I wanted to continue all the amazing stuff that all the teachers are doing for me, like for everyone.
You are like, I received all this like awesomeness from these teachers, and I want to pass that now on to others and be that person for other people. That's so awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
Well, gosh, I feel like we're pretty caught up on where you're at now.
Yes.
Do you have plans to come back to LA a bunch after this week, or are you going to be gone for a while now?
I will definitely be gone for a while till at least like August.
Okay.
Well, that's not a while.
That's not really. I'm
really
like, I
a
love
while.
that that's a while for you because you come back so much. But yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I love that. It seems like you're wise with money. You figure it out. Like, yeah, you said it's a struggle, but it also seems like you're like, I used to be.
Sorry.
No, but like, I think you are, like, you're figuring it out, you know?
I'm
We're
trying,
all figuring out stuff with money, but it seems like you're not letting that stop you from your dream and what you really feel in your heart you're called to do, what you're wanting to do, which is inspiring, and you've made it this far. And it seems like, and of course I feel you're going to make it all the way, and Westside, it seems like they're really proud of you, which I'm sure they are.
Thank
because
you.
it's so cool that they got you as an adult student starting there and who's really finding a way to do it professionally. And that's not everyone's story, but I think it's so cool that you shared it, because how inspiring for someone else that might be feeling like they want to do something along those lines but feels like, oh, maybe they can't because they didn't start when they were 5. And
Right.
I do think there's a difference between teaching and being a performer, because I also like love to teach, not in the same way as you, or necessarily like with ballet, but I feel very gifted in speaking and explaining things. And I will find people coming up to me when it's like a beginner class or something that I'm more advanced at. People will naturally come to me like, oh, how are you doing this? How do you do this? And the joy I get explaining something to someone and showing them, it's like, whoa, I kind of had similar experience to you the first time I taught. I was like, whoa, where's this joy coming from? Like, I kind of thought I wanted to do this, but wow, I did not know I'd have even almost more joy teaching than even dancing. And I love dancing so much. So it's just cool when you discover that. And I do think it is a unique gift. It's not for everyone that's a performer. And I don't think you have to have an exact amount of performing experience to be able to teach. And you have so much experience now anyways, because you've just been pushing yourself in all these directions and training with so many different companies, and you have performed, and it's just really inspiring. I didn't even realize you like started as an adult.
Thank
so
you.
I'm like, oh wow, like I wouldn't have thought that. So I think that's going to be really encouraging to a lot of people, because there's a lot of adult dancers. Well, there's a lot of adult dancers in LA, but there's a lot of people who started as adults, especially at Westside. So I'm sure a lot of those people not only enjoy your friendship, but also kind of look up to you like, oh, it's so cool that Evan like is doing this, you know, and it might be really inspiring people. So
Yeah, I think for me, I would like to be not really just to be cliche, like, oh, be a model of somebody, but I do want to kind of try to convince people in a way to push their limit, no matter if you are minority or if you are, if you're an adult who started ballet in your 20s or 30s, that's kind of a minority, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wanted to have this kind of thing, like to challenge yourself on what you love. And you always find joy, I think, in dancing. I think dance is a very common language for a lot of things, right? We had a very interesting topic, like dance is a universal language, I said, quote unquote, right? But then sometimes it is a little problematic to say that, because dance is probably not, because the category is different, the count is different, like traditional, West African is different than Asian, is different than ballet, whatever. Mm-hmm. But no matter what, I think human just enjoy movement in general. And I think that really bring people joy, no matter what type of dance you're doing. If you're able or not able, if you're just watching or not be able to watch, just listening, there are always a way to enjoy live performance art. And I think that really inspired me to kind of continue to what I'm doing. And I think teaching is just a very lovely aspect of passing things on.
Yeah, so cool. I love that. Well, Evan, this was amazing.
Thank you.
We went kind of long, but it didn't feel long.
Right.
Well, thanks for taking time out of your short amount of time. How many days are you here?
I'm going to be here for another 3 days.
Okay,
yeah.
A little longer than last time, but I know you're meeting with multiple friends today. You have to meet with your whole social network. So we'll probably end here, but if you guys want to see more of Evan's journey, ask him more things, because he's definitely inspiring and someone who knows a lot now that you've been on this adventure for some years.
Thank you so much.
Please reach out to him, ask. I mean, I think if anyone else has interest, there might be even more knowledge he can share about the path he's on. So anyway, thanks for sharing here, and I guess we'll let you go, and we'll let you guys go.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me today.
And thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.